A surprise visit for the president's son at Capitol Hill.
You're the epitome of white privilege.
While lawmakers proceed with hearings and proceedings. A scary moment in the slopes.
There were 2 people that were caught and 2 people that were buried.
As winter weather storms the area, the new year continues with high prices.
Well, the Fed won't start talking about when they're going to cut rates.
Inflation impacting the future of many consumers. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Julian Davis.
I'm Jason Harrow, and today is Thursday, January 11, 2024.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
It's the morning after the final debate before the first presidential votes are cast. This time it was Haley DeSantis one-on-one. The Republican caucus in Iowa is Monday, and 2 of the top 3 candidates shared a stage last night.
CNN's Ava McCann wraps what happened last night in Des Moines.
Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley and Governor Ron DeSantis taking center stage in the final debate before the Iowa caucuses. And the gloves were off.
If he would spend as much time trying to prove why he thinks he would be a good president, he would be doing a lot better in the polls.
This is the UN way of thinking, that we're somehow globalists. You can take the ambassador out of the United Nations, but you can't take the United Nations out of the ambassador.
But DeSantis and Haley spent most of the debate going after each other and trying to prove who can be the toughest on stage.
Do not trust Nikki Haley with illegal immigration. That's like having the fox guard the hen house. Nikki Haley also opposed the border wall in 2016. She said that she ridiculed it when Donald Trump was president. I'm telling you, you need a wall.
Go to DeSantisLies.com. I said you can't just build a wall. You have to do more than build a wall. It was having the wall and everything else. You can't trust what Ron's saying.
DeSantis arguing Haley's record as South Carolina's former governor proves she isn't ready for the White House.
She says she's always supported school choice, and she failed to deliver. She blames other people. Leadership is about getting things done. Stop making excuses. Make it happen.
Haley firing back in a blistering takedown of his campaign.
If leadership's about getting things done, how did you blow through $150 million in your campaign? We went and saved our money. We made sure we spent it right, because you have to understand it's not your money, it's other people's money, and you have to know how to handle it. If he can't handle the financial parts of a campaign, how's he going to handle the economy when it comes to the White House?
That was CNN's Ava McCann reporting. Earlier in the day yesterday, former New Jersey Chris Christie announced that he has dropped out of the race. Vivek Ramaswamy is still running, but he did not qualify for the debate.
Other plans for President Trump: he held a Fox News town hall instead of attending the debate. Today, he'll be in a New York City courtroom for closing arguments in his civil fraud trial. The former president is slated to attend, but is not expected to speak due to disagreements with the restrictions for a statement put in place by the judge. Trump's attorneys are planning to appeal that court order.
The buzz on Capitol Hill this morning: the surprise appearance of the president's son at a hearing. The process began yesterday of Hunter Biden being held in contempt for his defiance of a congressional subpoena. For more on the story, here's CNN's Emily Schmidt.
How do you plan to make your case?
Hunter Biden's unannounced visit to Capitol Hill Wednesday spoke volumes despite his own silence.
Do you plan on testifying today?
The president's son sat quietly. House Oversight Committee members erupted.
Point of order again.
Republicans on the committee have begun criminal contempt proceedings after Hunter Biden's refusal to testify behind closed doors.
You are the epitome of white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of?
After about 10 minutes, Biden walked out.
Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words.
His lawyer said Republicans won't agree to public hearings as they pursue unproven claims President Biden was involved in or benefited from Hunter's foreign business deals.
Hunter chose a hearing where Republicans could not distort, manipulate, or misuse that testimony.
Meanwhile, the House Judiciary Committee voted to recommend a contempt of Congress resolution.
You may score points with the MAGA base by forcing this vote today, but you threaten to do real damage to our ability to secure evidence and testimony in the future.
Chairman Jim Jordan pointed to a December news conference Hunter Biden held for reporters instead of talking to lawmakers.
think it shows just more how blatant the contempt is.
The White House response similar to what it has been as the president's son has faced 2 federal indictments.
Hunter, as you all know, is a private citizen. He's not a member of this White House.
The White House wouldn't say if it had a heads up on the congressional surprise. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
Tragedy this morning after reports of 1 person killed and 1 injured in the wake of a ski resort avalanche. Officials in California responded yesterday to reports of people trapped in snow at the Palisades Tahoe ski resort after an avalanche hit in the early hours. Rescuers used snowmobile towing and fellow skiers led the effort in the search for other victims.
So I saw it when I was going up the chair. And then as I came around, anybody that was off the chair, we just all got asked to help and start probing and start trying to just find people.
The Tahoe area faces a winter weather warning with up to 30 inches of snow. At the moment, no other skiers were reported missing in the avalanche.
The future of the Affordable Care Act is a matter of concern for both political parties this morning. Yesterday, President Biden announced a major milestone for the act, revealing 20 million new enrollments. The president says that he believes Republicans in Congress have plans to repeal the law. It's something he says he won't let happen on his watch.
A new plan in place this morning to help reduce child hunger. Congress announcing yesterday that was a temporary program will now be permanent. The Summer Electronic Benefit Transfer Program, known as Summer EBT, will distribute $120 to families per eligible child during summer break. The money can be used at grocery stores, farmers markets, or other authorized retailers.
While inflation is stabilizing, the cost of goods are still high. The Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the latest consumer price index tomorrow. CNN's Jen Sullivan breaks down how inflation and prices will impact you.
As we kick off 2024, the question for many consumers is how inflation will impact their wallet this year. There are a variety of indicators which show how the economy is doing, like the recent report that showed 216,000 jobs were added in December, exceeding expectations.
We have seen very strong GDP growth too, right? Productivity is above 5%. So that means that the inflation rate, right, combined with wage growth, there is some room for workers to keep doing better without having inflationary pressure.
While inflation is cooling, the cost of goods is still high, and interest rates remain high, which means if you're looking to buy a house or car this year, the cost to borrow that money will be more. And it doesn't look like those numbers will come down anytime soon.
Well, the Fed won't start talking about when they're going to cut rates. Market expectations are now forming that we'll see an interest rate cut in the middle of 2024.
If you are in the market to buy a home or car this year, experts say start getting your finances in order now. Check your credit reports, monitor your credit score. If you can, save 20% down payment. Review home buying assistance programs. And lastly, pay down your other consumer debt. The good news is that financial experts predict interest rates for homes and cars will likely come down before the Fed makes any changes.
Interest rates on mortgages and automobiles will begin coming down well in advance of that, and they already are.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
The coffee giant Starbucks is now in a lawsuit due to deceptive marketing practices. The lawsuit was filed Wednesday by the National Consumers League. There have been claims that the ingredients in their drinks, such as tea and coffee, have been outsourced from supply regions that partake in both human and labor abuses. In response to the claim, Starbucks mentioned that they are taking the right defense procedures.
6 Heat players in double figures as they try to take down the Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's still ahead, and so is his story.
And there's a lot to think about.
The winningest college football coach of all time announces the end of his career. Stick around, we'll be back in 2 minutes.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
If I use crypto. Nick Saban stepping down.
The University of Alabama is set to roll into a new era. This news comes after football head coach Nick Saban retired after 17 years.
The university announced Saban's retirement in a news release Wednesday evening. Saban's coaching career ended with an overtime loss against the Michigan at the Rose Bowl.
He didn't win the playoffs in this last year. We lost to Michigan, unfortunately. And it's kind of like with the 12-team playoff and everything coming, I was kind of hoping we would get to see him try again.
Saban ends his 28-year coaching career with a huge total of 297 wins and 71 losses throughout his time at multiple universities such as Toledo, LSU, and Michigan State.
On the court, the Miami Heat hosted the incoming Oklahoma City Thunder and fell short in a close contest. While 6 Heat players scored in double figures to keep the lead intact through the first half, the Thunder struck back with a run in the third quarter to take control. Forward Hayward Highsmith achieved a career high of 19 points, but Rookie of the Year candidate Chet Holmgren scored most of his buckets in the second half to lift the Thunder past Miami. The final score was Oklahoma City 128, Miami 120. Miami continues the homestand when they face the Orlando Magic tomorrow at 8 p.m. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
and even though we're
overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other.
On a deeper level.
Father,
Cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
it's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward. Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
That is all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Julian Davis.
I'm Jason Harrell. Get more news anytime at caplanews.fiu.edu.